Oracles of Olympus. Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, the podcast of all things in miniature wargaming, role-playing, board games, and general nerd culture, all with a taste of cynicism, sarcasm, and nerdy banter. Please join Kyle, Ryan, CJ, and GM Drew as we break down all the stuff. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Oracles of Olympus. I'm GM Drew. With me always.
Good morning, future listeners. This is CJ.
Hi everybody, it's Kyle. Episode 10, the decade episode. What's this mean for our anniversary? Do I have to get you guys like silver or something now? Or?
Ooh, what is a decade?
What if I got you like...
It's like a decade in gnome years.
Decade in gnome years? That's a lot of time. What if I got you some sort of like... leather chaps? Would that be like, I feel like that's a more me gift to give someone, like, I got you leather chaps.
Are they assless chaps?
Okay, well think of this though. Are they assless chaps? Because aren't all chaps assless? Have you ever heard of assed chaps? Like,
you're right, I guess
there's no
just
such
be
thing as
leather
chaps without a like,
leather
assless area.
Pants.
So
Right,
10,
exactly.
yeah.
Chaps that are not assless are pants.
Is traditional. It's a tin or aluminum gift.
Tin or aluminum, that's
Modern.
That's depressing as shit.
Modern is diamond jewelry.
Diamond jewelry, yeah, well, that's because
He's going to get you a tin gift.
Yeah.
He's going to make you like a little tinfoil boat. Yeah.
I'm going to do like an aluminum foil wiener. That's my gift to you. It's a sculpture I made.
Oh boy. Okay.
So good. We are Sans Big Swolski for this episode because today is his birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
birthday, Ryan.
Yeah.
A.K.A. the big manatee. A.K.A. Ryan, I'm not Terse McGuire.
I'm not Terse. I love Ryan.
He's a great guy.
We do tease Ryan a lot, but he's a really great guy.
He is a really great guy. Is he occasionally terse? Yes.
He might get sometimes a bit of a temper.
Yeah.
He does have a bit of a temper.
When you talk about things,
yeah.
Like he loves Harry Potter.
He absolutely
You should
loves
talk
it.
to him about
You should
Harry
definitely
Potter.
ask him about Harry Potter and which spells are his favorites and how many of them he can say.
That and Tau.
Oh,
Tau.
and Tau.
He's also a big Tau fan.
Tau player.
I
yeah.
think he's going to start his army soon.
Oh, probably.
Well, moving
I
on.
believe he's playing the Cucksept Tau.
We do have a couple shout-outs actually this week. Amber Lee Theed. She chimed in. Theedy. I'm sorry, Theedy.
Sorry, Amberly.
She chimes in on iTunes with a 5-star rating. Thank you so much.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
And says, thanks for all the gaming info. It makes me not completely dumb when talking to husband about 40K. And by not completely dumb, I mean I don't just glaze over.
We're a marital aid.
We are a marital
We're making your marriages stronger. Make your spouse listen to us. They'll thank you for it, probably.
Love the podcast and love Olympus. Thank you, Amber.
We're really making the world great again. One podcast
agree.
at a time.
We have seemed to be
It's
getting
10 times better.
It is, yeah, this is 10 times the podcast is when it started, that's for sure. We seem to be getting a pretty decent amount of interaction out of YouTube, so thank you guys for commenting and chatting with us on there. I always look forward to seeing the like funny shit you guys are gonna say. It definitely makes my day.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk games. This is the week of Legion. Fantasy
Star
Flight
Wars
Games
Legion.
puts out Star Wars Legion. We've talked about it probably for the last 4 episodes. Or so.
Yeah, I feel like we've mentioned it for a while. Yeah,
But
In
this
case you
is the
haven't
week.
heard, Legion's coming out.
Yes.
it's kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Legion is, it's a tabletop skirmish army list
War game. I think is what you're
ground
looking
forces
for.
game.
If you haven't seen it at this point, I'm sorry that you're still living in a cave in Tora Bora. Like, you basically have to be trying to dodge it because they have a strong...
But thank you for listening to our show.
Yeah, we appreciate that you're still receiving this in Tora Bora.
And we'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, tell us
We're
what
not
it's
sure
like to
you
live
can
in a
travel
cave.
here legally, but
Yeah, probably not legally, no.
you might be on a no-fly list and no train list.
Is someone translating our show somewhere then?
I
guess?
hope so.
Sure.
I would love to have the idea
I'd like to think so.
of like the UN room where everyone's listening to our show and there's all these people in different languages listening to us.
Now I'm starting to think of what the like different language words for dicks are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I can imagine there's a lot of those.
Just yell.
They're usually the first ones you learn.
I mean, it's the best ones to learn.
So Legion.
Yeah, so I watched a little more. Every chance I get, I try to watch a little more video playthroughs and whatnot. And I watched one this morning from the Beasts of War guys.
I like Beasts of War. Like, I don't always watch their stuff, but they tend to be like a little long-winded to me. But I really do like their stuff, and maybe it's just because they're a bunch of like chubby Irish guys. I might be biased. I'm not sure.
Well, it's topical then, right?
Right.
You're not chubby, Kyle. You've just yet to shed your winter fat.
Yeah, for like 4 winters. Like I'm storing it up for the apocalypse level winter. That's what's going on.
Zombie apocalypse. You'll be good in our
Yeah, dude.
camp
I'll be
for,
able to burn off that fat for like months.
I'm trying to imagine what a Skeletor Kyle looks like. And in my head, you're just like skeletal skinny, but your head stayed the same size for some reason.
I feel like
Like it looks lopsided.
Yeah, sure.
Like any stiff breeze could tip him over.
I want you to know that, like, as long as there are other humans in the apocalypse, I will never be a Skeletor.
I know.
Yeah, no, I will.
Spoiler alert, everybody! If you're on a plane that crashes in the middle of the Andes with Kyle, make sure you kill him first because he will eat
Yeah,
you.
you're gonna want to hit me in the head with a rock while I'm sleeping.
Yep. Because if you're not, you're gonna wake up in a pot.
Seems like it might be possible. We could be like, we'd crash and there'd be like a village in sight. And it'd be like, well, we're gonna have to eat somebody. Be like, no, we can see the village. I'm like, we'll never make it. we have to eat someone now. Who's the weakest or tastiest looking?
So I watched a little bit of theirs, and they had already built their lists. I think they were just using things right out of the core box, so there were no.
Yeah, I saw the same one. They were just doing core stuff.
Yeah, Vader's pretty badass.
Yeah, he basically just walks around, fucking lopping off limbs and head. Like he's just like, nope, meow, 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 just killing tons of shit. Like it was interesting to see like the way that Vader interacts as opposed to Luke, because Luke is just like really fast.
Yeah.
But he's not a 7-foot-tall asthmatic murder machine like Darth Vader. Like Darth Vader is like actually just terrifying as shit in that game. Like
This
I don't
is
know.
Vader from the end of Rogue One.
Yeah, right. It's totally end of
actually
Rogue One Vader.
scary.
Like, what do you do as a fucking dude in a padded jacket with a shitty like carbine against that guy?
Against
You
the
just-
Dark Lord of the Sith.
Right? Like, for me, I would just literally give my laser rifle a tongue bath before I got killed by that guy.
You just see him coming, just put it in the mouth.
Yeah. I've never wanted to comb my hair with a DL-44 blaster more than right now.
So it looks cool. One thing that I saw that was kind of cool is that speeders always move. You always get a free move with the speeder.
I really like that because it kind of represents like how fast things are moving. 'Cause that's definitely like I think when you think like all the speeders in Star Wars, it's always like crazy breakneck speed kind of stuff.
Yep.
So it's definitely cool. I can dig it.
And releases Thursday.
Releases on Thursday, so if you're listening to this the day it comes out, then it comes out tomorrow.
Right. Or if you're listening to
Yes,
on release
future
day,
listeners.
it comes out today. So anyway, it'll be out March. I should have the date.
We don't know what the next Thursday is. I don't know.
I don't even know what year it is at this point.
But on the Saturday after this releases, we're having a kind of a launch party for the game, and we're going to have people down here playing it, opening up their boxes, putting stuff together.
Yeah. I literally got, I want you to guys know, I stocked up on so much goddamn plastic glue. I had 20 packs of plastic glue. Like, if you,
Use
first
plastic
of all,
glue,
Use
don't
plastic
use
glue. Don't be a
super glue.
savage, for Christ's sake.
That's great tips. What other tips can we give? So what I'm hearing is you're going to automatically want to buy more dice.
It looks like
It's an FFG game. How would you not want to buy more
Right,
dice,
but
right?
people need to be told.
I think that's I feel like at this point almost everyone in the past 5 years has encountered like X-Wing or something, and you just know you need more dice.
You need more
Fantasy
dice.
Flight, you pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
You're pretty sneaky on that extra sale.
dice, and
Right, you're like, right, you're like, oh, well, it looks like we gave you 3 dice of each kind in here, but you're definitely going to need a fourth in about 50% of your situations. Son of a bitch! I'm gonna go out and buy dice right away.
I would definitely recommend getting yourself a hobby knife, because even though things are pre-clipped, you'll probably have some little areas of
Are
screws.
they pre-clipped? I thought they were still on sprues.
No, they're
they're
baggies.
pre-clipped in
little
baggies.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely, regardless of them being pre-clipped, you're definitely gonna still have mold lines.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want to take those mold lines off so that your guys don't look
So at a
goofy.
bare minimum, all of our intrepid listeners who've never done minis, get yourself plastic glue and a hobby knife.
And welcome to the best hobby in the world.
Yes.
My opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So Legion, we'll talk a lot more about that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Tau Codex came out this week.
It sure did. And it doesn't suck donkey nuts, which is nice.
No.
It's
I mean,
actually
compared to
pretty
where
good.
the Tau were previously, so the Tau weren't terrible, but they weren't what you would call good either. So this book definitely makes them feel pretty good. Like there's a lot of viable building blocks in here to make lists. So I think that's a pretty big deal. It's definitely nice to see them back to the sort of position we all have known the Tau to be in, where they're just basically flying around shitting on everyone's hopes and dreams.
Something I found kind of weird is they didn't do special dice for the Tau. It seems like a missed opportunity for sales.
But like, they just would be boring as shit. And
Are
I
the
think they
Tau
understood
FFG now?
Right? I mean, but
that.
you could have totally done like a cool gloss dice with the symbol of the Tau Empire on the 6. I mean, the Tau Empire print money for GW.
It is like one of the most popular factions, if not the most popular.
Of the Xenos faction, by far, it's number one, the most popular faction.
Yeah.
And I've always noticed
People
in
like big robots.
They
go
do.
figure.
When I'm showing off armies when people are new and they look in our case and they see the painted Tau, they're like, I want this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, here's another one. Yep.
Oh, great. One of those.
Because I love walking into like 72 missiles a turn with my army.
Right. So here we go. Like, I would like to spend the next 45 minutes using my marker lights, please.
You know what? That's a valid point, because marker lights just piss me off. They annoy me. They're like, I'm going to marker light this unit. And they're like, I'm going to use them for these things. I was like, fucking be honest. Just shoot me. Like,
No, I have to laze the target first.
you don't have an honest bone in your body, little fish people. Come fight me. Stop with the laser crap and
CJ might be an orc warlord at heart.
kill me with a chainsword.
Why do they call them fish people? I know they're like little.
They're
aliens
not.
in
I don't know why
box.
anyone calls them fish people. Technically, they're pork. They have cloven hooves, guys. First
You're
of all,
right, they are pork.
have no gills, no fins. They have hooves. God damn it!
I guess it's because of the skin, and I just always envision them smelling like fish.
See, I envision them smelling like sweaty ballsack and pigs. Like, you know what they probably smell like? Curry pork. That's
You're
what they smell
right.
like,
That's
curry
an
pork.
accurate thing.
Dude, like everything smells kind of like sweaty people in curry with like pork. mixed in.
like an East Indian taxi cab.
Technically speaking,
just
too,
had lunch.
because they're pigs and they have the cloven hoof. They doth not chew of their own cud. So technically speaking, they would not be kosher to eat.
No, they
So
would
if
not
I
be.
crashed on it-
Now Kyle would eat the hell out of.
I
cow.
would still kill and eat them. Yes, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure if Kyle was an Imperial
love
Guard
pork.
commander, like if you were an Inquisitor or an Imperial Guard commander, we would have like Tau burgers, we would have like a Tau roast, we would
yeah.
have Tau bacon sandwiches and
Tau
bagels.
ribs?
Yeah, Tau ribs.
I love ribs. Is really the best part of the pig.
Smoked tower.
I don't know. There's another way to do ribs.
You know, you remind me of Kyle. There was a famed French general during the Napoleonic Wars who was also a cook, and one of his things he'd do to raise morale is he would prepare meals himself, specialty meals for his soldiers before they go into battle. And I picture you being that person, just in a more cannibalistic form.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd use coriander and cool spices on them.
Corey.
Yeah.
It's like, now make sure you hit your Tau with a good blast of your spice weasel.
Bam. Yeah, spice it up with a spice weasel. Can we
Like-
even say that? Is that copyright protected? Probably?
No, not anymore. He's gone.
Is it
I don't see him much
Elazar?
anymore.
You're thinking of Emerald. We're
Right.
talking about Elazar.
I don't know who
What
that
did
is.
happen
Holy
to
shit, you don't know who Elazar is?
No.
So Drew has never seen the best cooking show in any universe, Elazar's. It's from Futurama, man. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay.
Shame on you.
Yeah, that show.
Feel bad about yourself.
So I don't know why they became fish people, but they did.
I don't know.
It just took off. When you're
Also-
right, they really are more pork people.
Also, people call them like pinko commies when technically I'd say they're more like utilitarianists.
I view them, they're definitely not Soviets. They're way too enlightened. This is like militant
right.
Scandinavians here.
Militant Scandinavians is a
Yeah.
pretty good one. But I don't know if that's fair. I like the Scandinavians.
Well, I like the Tau too, but it doesn't make them not militant or
I said
socialist.
I like the Scandinavians. I didn't say I liked the Tau.
I'm a big supporter of the Imperium's government. Like, if it's not 10 people that have 90% of the wealth on Hive World, what's going on?
What's going on? I will say the one thing that I was disappointed in the Tau Codex is there's not human auxiliaries in here.
I know, I was kind of hoping.
Like, you know, the Tau, if you're not familiar with the Tau, the Guevasa.
No, say Gelu. That's it.
Gevasa.
Fuck, I don't know. My Tau language is falling a little bit.
You gotta know the enemy's language. Otherwise, how can you trash talk them? I'm a firm believer in that. You gotta know some. You gotta be able to sprechen the lingity of your foe. Yeah, I mean, like, one of the big things with the Tau is that they've got, like, all these auxiliary troops, basically. They're kind of, the Tau are kind of like, I don't know, let's share everything Rome.
Communist Romans?
Yeah, they're like commie Romans. Like,
Yeah.
lots of auxiliary troops. But for the past, I don't know, 15 years or whatever, the only auxiliaries we've had are Kroot and Vespids. And no one takes Vespids because they suck balls. Like, I didn't even read them in this book.
Did you see the Vespid picture in there? It is here, real quick. It is terrifying. It is a thing of nightmares.
I didn't even read the Vespid unit entry because I just assumed they already suck.
It is horrifying. And you see this Vespid. Yeah, look at this thing. Look at his face. That's a thing of nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, it's not somebody I want to meet in a dark alley.
No, I mean, I'll give him 2 blasts of my shotgun, he goes down, but...
Sure, or like one stiff, like, uppercut because he's still Tau.
Like, when you're playing against Vespid, you basically... It's like bird hunting, except they're really big. It's like big pheasants.
It's bird hunting with, like, double B buckshot.
Would it be, like, violate any type of, humane rule to bird hunt Vespid? Like, you raise them at a farm and then you release them into fields?
No, you just raised, like, pheasants and...
Yeah, like, we're walking along and these little Vespid fly up and you're like, bam, bam!
I just wanted to check out the Vespid.
You have, like, a giant mutant dog that drags it back to you because it's the Imperium.
Oh boy, yeah, the Vespids are still... okay, so the Vespids are not terrible in this, right? Like,
well, let's talk about them since we're making fun of them.
Yeah, right, like, let's give them their due. So, Vespids, yeah, they have a 14-inch move. They hit on 4s and shooting and weapon skill, excuse me. So they're just as disappointing as every other Tau soldier out there. They're only going to hit half the time, sans their marker light technology. Still strength 3, but they are tough 4 for some reason. Like, they're the toughest Tau infantry now.
It's all the kite.
Because exoskeletons,
they're bugs.
1 attack still in close combat. Leadership 5.
Oh, they are brave as hell.
Yeah, if you've got the sergeant, they jump up to leadership 8, so don't let your strain leader be killed. God, they have dumb names. They have, each one of them is, I don't like the Vespid. They're still metal models, too, so they're just, like, useless to me. The, Vespid Stingwing's Neutron, blaster is an 18-inch range assault 2 weapon. It's strength 5, AP -2.
It got better.
It's actually pretty good.
It's still 1 damage.
It's still 1 damage though.
Yeah.
But it's respectable.
Yeah.
You still are taking Vespids that remind you their save is only a 4+ because they're wearing like Tau Fire Warrior flak vests. They do have a cool rule called plunge from the sky. During deployment, you can set these guys up circling the sky instead of placing it on the battlefield. If you do so, they can plunge from the sky at the end of any of your movement phases, setting it up more than 9 inches away from enemy models.
I mean, that's not a terrible thing. That gives a little flexibility. So
yeah, they're okay.
But frankly, I find
No.
I find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive.
I also find the idea of a bug that thinks offensive. I think we should just bomb Planet K. We gotta take those bastards out for what they did at Zegama Beach.
But the Tau are likable. They're the only arguably good guys in the entire game that have this kind of bright world spirit of, yay, everything's wonderful and we're going to unite everybody and we're going to be happy and we're going to have campfires. They're the Federation. They believe in uniting the alien races.
That's how I've always thought.
Yeah, they're basically they're the Federation.
Yeah, I do like that about them because I love the fact that their naivete gets them killed all the time. Like,
and then they
all the time
it gets them killed. And so what do? The best thing is they run into like the most anti-Federation out there, the Imperium of Man, who's just like,
be friends. They're like, no,
we're gonna schedule you for standard termination.
Right? I love, like, if you read like any of the older Tau books or some of the other books out there, like the older Dark Eldar book, there's a story about like the time the Dark Eldar met the Tau for the first time.
Yeah,
the Tau are like on this planet fighting Tyranids, and the Dark Eldar are like, just pop out of the webway, riding their raiders, rubbing your nipples on the way down to slaughter some piggies. And they fly down there and they see a bunch of Tyranids. They're like, shit, we've got to kill the Tyranids first. And they like start killing up the Tyranids. The tower like, wow, you guys are super cool.
You want to join our empire?
Yeah, you want to be friends? And they're like, not really, but perhaps we could arrange a cultural exchange. And they're like, sure, that'd be swell. And the Dark Elder are like, yes, send us 1,000 of your emissaries every week. They're like, we'll help you fight this war. And they're like, all right, yay. And like they kind of like go into like how the war keeps going on. And like at first, like all the Dark Elder they met were just like, dudes who were rubbing their nipples all the time in armor. And then like some like gladiatorial like ladies with like basically just leather,
like metal bikinis.
Yeah, metal bikinis and leather jumpsuits start showing up. And then later on, like weirder shit starts showing up. Like homunculus comes, are like, all of a sudden we notice that all these Dark Elder have like 4 arms each for some reason, or their muscles are on the outside of their body, and we're not really sure what that is. And like as the campaign goes on, more and more of the constructs the homunculi bring are blue-skinned constructs. So they're like literally just right. So like the Tau eventually figure out that they like none of the emissaries have been coming back because the Dark Elder are literally just skinning them and using them for parts.
Right? Fool me once, right? Shame on me.
Fool me for like 12 years while we're fighting the Tyranids. Whoops a doozy.
Yep.
They're like, I guess they don't want to be our friends.
I picture all of these poor little Tau emissaries like with a little hand knife battling witches in an arena.
But it's like a Nerf hand knife.
Yeah, they're just like barely know how to fight, and all of a sudden they just like this gory spray of blood as a witch cuts their throat. The crowd goes wild. Anyway, what do you think are the best seps, Kyle?
Yeah, okay, so...
I think the Vorlaw, right, is... I was going to point out. I think the Vorlaw looked the best early on, but when you really think about them a lot, they're not as good.
They're definitely the sept that I would not go for as my primary sept.
Tell us why.
Okay, right. I sure will. So we talked about these guys earlier. They're the ones with the stratagem that lets you shoot twice for one of your units. The catch to that stratagem is, now that I've seen the entire thing, is you have to shoot the nearest unit twice. So it's not necessarily bad. It's still fine, but it does not give you, I think, necessarily the control you want. It's really easy for your opponent to kind of plan for that, in my opinion. The other stuff that you get for actually having the Viola Sept, they have the Strike Fast rule, which says if a unit with its tenant if a unit with its tenant advances, it treats all rapid-fire weapons it's armed with as assault weapons until the end of the turn. Example is Rapid-Fire 1 becomes Assault 1. In addition, models with this tenant do not suffer the penalty for their to-hit rolls for advancing and firing assault weapons. Sounds cool on the outside, right? All of your rapid-fire become Assault, but it literally says your Rapid-Fire 1 becomes Assault 1. So you're losing half of your shots, right? If you're at half range with rapid fire, you're getting twice the shots. So as soon as you change that from rapid fire 1 to assault 1, you don't get the double shots anymore. You just get one shot now. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, in my mind, like, why am I ever running closer to the enemy with Tau? Ever.
Yes.
Like, I guess you could say this is neat to be running away.
Maybe.
Sure.
Things like that.
Yeah, but like, am I taking an entire sept for one squad of dudes? Seems unlikely, right? Not really my jams. So my favorite septs are I still really like Farsight Enclaves, although I do agree that they're rerolling ones to wound for shooting attacks with enemies that are within 6 is a little harder to use. I just like some of the other gear they get, like the plasma swords and stuff like that. As far as like the best seps, I think the generic Tau sept is really good. It's just overwatching on 5s instead of 6s, and for an army that has so many kind of moments based around their Overwatch and a lot of other abilities that affect Overwatch, feels like a thing that's really going to be handy. Like, it's just a very solid army, right? The other one that I really love is the Borkan Sept. That's the sept that gets to add 6 inches to the range of any rapid and heavy weapons they're armed with. I love it.
Not
right?
bad.
Like, it's basically Tau doing what Tau want to do, right? Like extra shooting at range. Those are kind of my 3 that I think are really, really nice. I definitely would say those are the ones to go with. The 2 I wouldn't, probably Viola and Sassia Septs. Those are just not really worth it in my mind. Overall, the entire book seems pretty good. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of broadsides out there. Broadsides feel super, super useful right now. And I think you're going to see probably a pretty even mixture, honestly, of weapons on those broadsides. I mean, the high-yield missile pods are back to being pretty good. Definitely solid to shred infantry and knock out some of those faster movers. And, of course, the heavy rail rifles are just great at shredding vehicles still, right? Or big monsters, elite infantry, things like that. So I think you're going to see lots of broadsides out there. They definitely feel like a star in this book to me. I do think you'll see some Riptides again. Like, Riptides definitely went down in points, so they're actually a lot more usable now, which is a big deal. Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of cool stuff going on in it. Good warlord traits. Seems like a good book.
Tau Codex.
Tau Codex.
Let's see here. The Gama Trade Show was this week.
Yes.
And the Gama Trade Show is it's a game retailers convention.
Yeah.
And there's some releases that get announced there, and
there's
so
it's
there.
yeah, I've gone to Gamma many times. Yeah, so it's like, for what it's worth, it's basically a retailer only kind of. I don't even say like mini con. It's really like a lot of seminars and panels. It's a trade show, yeah. You go to a lot of panels, you get a lot of information from distributors and other people in the retail hobby gaming industry.
They showcase a lot of new products.
Yeah, they showcase. Basically, they tell you kind of like what's coming up for the next year and like where the direction of things is going. One of the cool things they did last year is they had like a couple tournaments that were just for retailers, and this year they kind of doubled down on that, and this year was actually a bunch of tournaments that were just for retailers where you could win cool stuff for your store.
What kind of tournaments?
There was this. So this year they did an X-Wing tournament, they did a few card game tournaments, and then they did a Shadespire tournament as well. So last year they just had a Blood Bowl tournament, and it was fun, but there was like maybe like 6 of us that played.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, I bring up Gamma because let's talk a little bit about some of the announcements.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some cool stuff coming out.
So
We already hit on Pathfinder.
we did.
I genuinely think Pathfinder 2 is the death of Pathfinder.
What?
Yeah. I've been looking more into like
That's right, you heard it here first, folks.
That's completely different from
I know,
last
right?
week.
At first I was like, yeah, whatever, seems fine. But no, like the initial reactions, people were like not super stoked about it.
That's my take. Is it was an alternative to 4th edition.
Right.
What's an alternative to now? And I get it. Paizo's got to keep putting stuff out to stay in business, but
and stay relevant. Like,
people don't always want to.
Right.
You stay in business, so.
Well, I think the other thing is like Dungeons and Dragons is basically just suplexing Pathfinder into the dirt right now, just grinding them under.
So here's an interesting tidbit that came out from ICV2. Which
you could say it however you want to say it.
Some
people say ICV2, some people say ICV2.
Thing. So the top 5 role-playing games for the fall.
Okay.
Number 1 is obviously Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Shocking.
Guess what number 2 is?
I'm gonna go with Star Wars.
Starfinder.
Okay. Starfinder.
So is that for this fall coming or this
was
past fall?
2017.
Okay, so fall 2017. Yeah, no, then I'm not shocked at Starfinder because Starfinder is definitely gonna beat Pathfinder because it already had basically all of the Pathfinder players ready to go.
Sure.
Right, like you've already got an entire populace of people who already know your rule set. Why not get the new thing? Mm-hmm. Like, who doesn't love laser guns?
They do.
Yeah.
So this kind of leads into another conversation. I wanted to talk a little bit about. I'm jumping around a little bit, but at the presentation that the Coast gave at Gamma Trade Show, they showed some of the monsters that are being released in the Mordenkainen tome, which is the next D&D book that's coming out. It's, from what I understand, it's a monster manual. One of the creatures in it is named a GIF. And a GIF, I don't know what a GIF is, but this guy says...
It's like a moving internet meme.
I didn't know what a GIF was either, but I get them all the time.
The GIFF. So, it's a GIF that he looks like a steampunk hippo with a blunderbuss. And apparently...
Hooray!
Apparently, this creature comes from an old setting in D&D called Spelljammer.
Oh, God!
Which...
Not Spelljammers, no!
Which is D&D in space,
which is kind of Starfinder.
Have you ever played Spelljammers?
No, I haven't.
It's definitely not Starfinder because your Spelljammers are basically like ships of sail, like galleons and shit that just happen to be able to go in space because they have a Spelljammer bubble around them.
That sounds stupid.
But it's a ship in space.
Yeah, but it's not like a spaceship, right? It is a ship in space. Like it is that some bitch you can land that some bitch on a planet somehow, and you can put her in the water and still boat around at the power
it
of
works
wind.
out so well for the Quadrant Overlords.
Yeah. God damn, I hate the Quadrant Overlords so much. I want to love them.
Broken
Games
dreams.
Workshop, make the ships cheaper and I can love them. They're so terrible right now. Somewhere out there's like somebody who will hear this and they're like, I play Quadrant Overlord so good, and they're like, I win all my games. Well, let me tell you, guy who wins all your games with Quadrant Overlords. First of all, I'm not the guy with the golden butthole. All right, I don't just shit pure excellence like you do. Also, I'm gonna throw this out there, buddy. You're probably playing a bunch of rubes who play like Grots or something like that. All right, so don't get too stoked about your wins. With
Ships
Quadrant
do
Overlords.
great when all they do is fight like Chaos Marauders.
Yeah, right? Like, if you can find your enemy's weakest troops and their army is only made of those shitty weak troops, then your ships will be
Like
fine.
that guy that decided to build the all Death Rattle army.
Right, yeah.
I'll
like-
take that on with my ships.
Yeah, basically.
It'll be a hard-fought game, but I'll take it on.
Spelljammers is a super weird setting, but it is the setting that gave us Illithids, Mind Flayers. They come from Spelljammers.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, they're Spelljammers. They are a spacefaring race that crashes into the world that D&D's on. And it also gives us the Gith and the Githyanki, because those are basically slave races for the Mind Flayers.
So, to be clear, they haven't announced Spelljammer, but this creature showing up in this monster manual, Mordenkainen's tome, has got people talking.
It's a hippo with a blunderbuss.
A hippo with a blunderbuss is terrifying. Do you know hippos kill more people per year than any other animal?
They also fart out of their mouths, which is pretty great.
Yeah, they do.
That's a winner, dude. Yeah, that's good shit right there.
They
You know,
do.
of all the animals we've overhunted to extinction on this planet, why are hippos not one?
I don't know.
I'm not sure ecologically what purpose they serve. I'm sure there is
They
one.
don't have a tusk or...
Yeah, right. Like, there's
There's nothing exciting
no
about killing
jewelry.
you're not even gonna remotely say that you would not be excited if I bought you a pair of hippo leather chaps.
assless chaps.
There's no such thing as chaps that aren't assless. Those are pants.
Then why is that a thing?
I don't know, because some idiot out there is like, let's say they're assless chaps. They're all assless. They're all assless, you mouth breather. Like, oh my god. There's no such thing as assed chaps. Hashtag, there are no assed chaps.
No ass chaps.
But back to hippos, they are terrified.
Okay.
I mean, they're mean as shit.
Yeah,
And they basically take like a 50 caliber weapon to kill.
And
Maybe that's why we haven't overhunted them.
They basically can just bite you in two. That's a thing.
Yeah.
So, WotC also news from their seminar. I like that segue.
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
2017, best year ever for D&D in terms of sales.
I believe that.
Year 3 of D&D sales is stronger than their first year.
Okay.
I believe that because year 1 was a good year because it was like
new.
that was literally the year we opened the store. And it was new, right? Like, but I think it was kind of like the whole first year was like Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, DMG, right? So like, not everybody out there is going to go out and buy the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide,
Sure.
because really, if you're not planning on running a game, or if you're not the person who
would you?
needs to know all of the things,
Right.
you're only going to get the Player's Handbook because that's all you really need. But now we're starting to get more player material. You know, we've got Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, we've got Xanthars, we've got Volos. Like, there's player stuff in all these books. Mm-hmm. So, all of these books are things you actually are going to want.
Yep.
And there's been a lot more adventures and a lot more side products too, like the Adventure Grid, Dungeon Tiles, the character sheet
minis.
pack, the minis. I mean, that's a big part of it, right? Like, I think that's part of why the sales have gotten so good, and because I think it's D&D, right? Like, it's the most popular RPG of all time.
So another thing they said is the actual play streaming on Twitch has been a key driver of the success, with 9 million users watching it.
I believe that. I mean, I guess, you know, if you look at, like, 3 years ago, there was maybe like one or two people like kind of doing that as like a thing, and now you have tons of different groups like Critical Role. And
What I want to know is who are all these people that have time to watch Twitch streams? I never have time to watch this crap.
See, I guess
love to, but
I
I
watch
don't.
Twitch while I'm painting and stuff like that.
See,
Like,
I
put it on.
I can't watch stuff while I'm painting. I stop painting.
Also, I don't like watch it the whole time,
Yeah.
right? Like I will watch when something like I watch Ryan. I watch Big Swole a lot of time while I'm painting. I'll just put his stream on, and like I will not watch literally every move he makes in a game. But if I hear him like start getting into a fight with other players or like gunning somebody down, like I'll stop painting for a second and I'll watch that part. So it's kind of one of those things. There, I mean, it's weird. Like
It's passive watching kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Like it's my background. Because for me, it's easier to do that than like have a movie going. Because I will definitely I'm the kind of guy that will
See,
stop.
I just have music. Just music.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The last bullet on this article is that 8.6 million Americans have played D&D in the last 12 months.
Wow.
That's just,
And those are just the ones they've been able to
Americans.
figure out. Those are not counting all the closeted D&D nerds.
Sure.
You know who you are.
Yep.
It's okay. You can come out and talk about your D&D.
GW's news.
There's some exciting stuff from Gama.
From Gama is Kill Team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, okay. So I'm actually curious to see what Kill Team is. Is it just going to be rehashed Shadow War, or is it going to be more like Skirmish from AOS?
Shadow War.
Is it though? Because I think it's more like Skirmish from AOS.
They show the pictures. It's like identical.
I don't know. Maybe I'll give
You
it
have
a
the
shot.
specialists and all that stuff.
I would still look into it. Like I would give it a shot because I like skirmish games, and it changes the dynamic of what models are good.
Sure.
Like Skitarii are really good.
At that point, I'd rather just play Necromunda.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like
Speaking
I prefer
of
Necromunda.
Vansar.
Holy shit! Do those guys look cool? Like I never was into Vansar before, and now I'm like I want to put the Vansar things in my veins.
Yeah, they're really good
I
looking.
want to be in the Vansar.
Yeah.
They, oh my god, the aesthetic on these guys. If you haven't seen the Vansar models,
Go watch the video.
go watch the video. It's on Warhammer Community. Go make it happen. The aesthetic on them is unlike anything else in Warhammer 40k. They almost look more like Infinity models.
They do look more like Infinity models, yeah.
Like it's very cyberpunk, very like techie. You know, it's almost the opposite of like your normal kind of grim dark 40k.
They look
aesthetic.
nothing like the other Three Kings at all.
Yeah, no, not even remotely. They're interesting.
IDNF Deepkin are coming. I'm excited. I'm ready to see what they
Are the IDNF Deepkin really coming, or
They
is
are.
it a very elaborate April Fool's joke?
They're coming.
Hashtag is it an April Fool's joke? Start the trend, guys. I'm not sure.
I'll be
We'll know.
so
I'll tell you what.
disappointed.
We will know if they're coming by Friday, right? By the time you're hearing this, there'll only be another day or two to wait because GW will unveil it at Adepticon. And hopefully they are. I'm definitely curious, but I'm not convinced that it's not just a giant April Fool's joke, right? Could be.
That
I
would
don't
be
know.
so terrible.
But it'd be
I would
really
hate
good.
them for all eternity.
Nah, you wouldn't. You'd still love them.
I'd hate them a little bit.
You'd be mad for like 3 days and then you'd forget.
Possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. But we did get the next two gangs for Shadespire. We got. I mean, it's kind of the gangs we already knew were coming.
The corn one to me looks more interesting.
The Khorne one looks badass.
Yeah.
So we've got a gang of Khornate Blood Warriors, which are basically the heavy armored version of the guys that are already out, and they come with a Flesh Hound of Khorne, which is super cool. They look good. Like they look like. Basically, it's like these three badasses and their huge giant murder dog. Super excited to see them. The other one we get is the new Stormcast Vanguard
Hunters, yeah.
Hunters, which they look cool.
They look cool.
Like it's it's 3 more Stormcasts. These ones have bolt pistols, like bolt storm crossbows. Or whatever.
Crossbow pistol, Kyle.
Yeah, sure. They're
They're
definitely
not
bolt
Space
pistols.
Marines.
Yeah, right. Whatever. I don't care if they are Space Marines or not. It doesn't
Like
hurt
at
my
some point,
feelings.
Games Workshop's like, you know how we make fantasy sell? We put Space Marines into fantasy.
Right. Well, it worked.
It did work.
Right.
Hats off to them.
Like, turns out that people don't want our main fantasy army to be a bunch of dudes in pantaloons and, like, big fucking sleeves. Like, no one gives a shit about big hats with feathers and pantaloons anymore.
It's a shame because that's such a cool style.
I don't disagree with you. The weird history-loving nerd in me is like, I love Renaissance attire. I like my pantaloons.
Giant pantaloons, massive codpiece.
Yeah, codpieces are important to any functioning army. But, turns out the vast majority of people are like, nah, just give me 9-foot-tall dudes in plate armor. They murder all the Kharadron. Like, that's what, and I get it. Like, boy, when you're on the other side of those Kharadron overlords, just hacking them down, it's fun.
With little people.
Yeah, right. LP Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
So, along with that, the ICV2 article I brought up earlier, there's some other games that I thought might be interesting to talk about what they are seeing as top sellers in the different channels. For instance, the what do they call this one? This one is the Hobby Channel board games.
Okay.
Top. I'm not going to read through all of them, but number one, try to guess. What do you think the top?
I don't know what type of games those are.
Okay, define Hobby Channel board games. What the fuck is a Hobby Channel?
I don't know.
Just tell us, what is it?
Okay, Catan is number one.
Oh, that's not shocking. I don't know what the fuck that's a Euro game. I don't know what the fuck they're calling a Hobby Channel game.
So number two is Pandemic. So I don't know what Hobby Channel means.
That's Pandemic
really weird.
It's a co-op, but it's pretty close to Euro.
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me though, right? Like Catan is the best seller
What's number
because
three?
it's
Just
really
give
well
us a top
publicized.
5.
You want top 5?
Yeah, just give top
First
5.
Martians.
Yeah.
Which we have in the shop. I haven't played yet.
Yeah, I haven't played it either.
Forest Scythe. I'm surprised that's not above.
I'm surprised Scythe isn't at least in the top 3.
Yeah.
And number 5 is Charterstone. That's the only legacy game in the list, actually.
Okay.
So
It won't be this summer because Scythe will have a legacy thing. Like,
Betrayal Legacy.
What are other categories we have, Drew?
Let's see. The best selling card and dice games.
is Betrayal getting a legacy expansion?
It is.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Because that's like how Westworld starts. Like, I don't want people remembering that I killed them 3 games ago. That is exactly how Westworld starts.
Yeah.
It's real dangerous shit. All right, what's your other top 5 list?
This one is card and dice games.
Ooh.
Not collectible.
It's going to be exciting. Oh, okay, not collectible.
Destiny.
Okay. That's a collectible.
That's collectible. Number 1 is Code Names.
Okay.
It's interesting. Like, it's a good game. I'm surprised it sold that much.
We
that's
actually
impressive.
demoed it in the shop a couple weeks ago, and it's become one of my more favorite party games. Number 2 is Rick and Morty.
I mean, it's Rick and Morty. Like, you
What
could
is
slap
it?
that.
What's Rick and Morty? I know. Okay.
Okay,
I know
okay.
Rick and Morty
Okay.
is a cartoon.
I
but
literally
don't know what the
our
game
faces
is.
all went white and we're like staring at you like, what the fuck?
I know.
We have to kill him now.
Bury him in the basement.
Right?
Next week it'll just be Kyle and I.
I was like, literally, the list of crazy shit was running through my head. I was like, he's one of the things from The Thing, right? Like, he's the monster from John Carpenter's The Thing. He's assumed human
took him
form.
over. He came in his dog. and got
Right?
him.
Yeah,
be
but like,
clear, I know
that's
what Rick
the
and
only
Morty
thing that
is.
wouldn't know what Rick and Morty is.
But I
You'd
don't
have
know
to be Thing.
I don't know what the board game is. Cryptozoic makes it too.
Who cares what the board game is? It's Rick and Morty. Like, whatever.
Number 3 is
We have it. I don't know what it is. I know it says Rick and Morty on it. Nailed it.
3 is Munchkin.
Sure, that makes sense. Munchkin's popular.
4 is Dragonfire, which is the D&D.
The D&D like deck builder or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
And number 5 is Legend of the Five Rings.
Elfire is really pretty.
Yeah, it is very pretty.
Dominion's still on this list.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dominion used to be like king of that list for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it just
Cards Against
kind of...
Humanity's number 9. That can fall off at any time now.
Farewell.
There's
Cards
like
Against
a
Humanity.
million clones of that game already.
Non-collectible miniature lines.
Okay.
Non-collectible is
Non-collectible.
what are the
The hell
miniatures
is a
that I wouldn't collect?
non-collectible
I don't
miniatures
understand this.
Right. Star Wars X-Wings number 1.
What? Hold on. How the fuck is that not collectible? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me, FFG? Don't you piss on me and tell
This
me that's
isn't
not a collectible
FFG's
game.
list. This is ICV2.
Well, then, are you
They're
shitting on?
determined.
Are you pissing on me? ICV2? Are you shitting on me?
Number 2 is 40K.
How? What? Non-collectible? What the fuck? Literally, like, one of their taglines is paint. Is like literally collect, paint, and play.
Yeah.
Like that is one of their fucking taglines.
War Machine's below that.
Okay. War Machine's number 3.
Number 4 is D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Minis.
What? That's not shocking. There's like.
What are those?
Are you shitting me? They're the miniatures right behind you.
Yeah. The
Those
D&D
are it?
minis.
Yeah,
But they're not a minis game.
It's just saying that. Well, first of all this shit is collectible, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Okay, that's.
I think they must mean like
fun.
collectible miniatures games must be like HeroClix.
Yeah, that
like,
has to be it.
Just so you know, the collectibles miniatures games top 5 categories is just HeroClix. It's the only fucking one. Like,
And
there
number
aren't
5
others.
is Deep Cuts Pathfinder miniatures.
Of course.
Which is
So,
the
I'm
other
curious
half
now.
of that one.
Yeah.
What are the next 5, Drew? Do they do the top 10?
No, just 5 in this one.
There's only
Okay.
5 anyway. So.
So we did.
You know who's not on there anymore? Godspeed Battlefront.
Godspeed Battlefront. Yeah, no, they're
All right, and
sinking.
the last
Yeah.
one is the collectible games.
Okay.
Number 1.
HeroClix.
HeroClix.
Collectible games.
Oh, Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No shit.
Number 2,
HeroClix.
Pokemon.
Oh,
Pokemon.
I forgot about Pokemon.
Number 3, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Sure. I'm super glad that we don't have any Yu-Gi-Oh crowds in our store.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely something that we could carry, and we've been asked to carry it before, but we as owners have made a conscious decision not to carry it.
We don't want to support organized crime.
We don't.
The Yu-Gi-Oh Mafia was a thing in Laramie, Wyoming. Everybody.
Also, I have been to Gama many times, and I've met the president of Konami, and he is the most boring human being I've ever met. Like, if a human being could be paint drying, he is that. Like, holy shit, are his presentations dry? And I'm not kidding you. It's
Is he
always
the drunk
like
one you were talking
no,
about?
he's not the one. That's the guy from Cryptozoic. He's always like fucking super hungover. Or no, not Cryptozoic. That guy's from Upper Deck. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's always super hungover. He's very like broy, but he's
The Upper
definitely-
Deck guy?
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
definitely like past his prime broy.
Yeah, he's super.
Right,
past
like
his
he's
prime,
like
really.
long hair, but it's receding hairlines.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of
Kind of graying. And
yeah.
Number
he just looks
4
a little
is
worn out.
HeroClix.
Okay.
Sure,
5 is Destiny.
that surprises me.
That surprises me too.
Number 6, D&D Fantasy Miniatures.
What the hell is that?
It's the they have blind boxes of miniatures,
Okay.
the pre-painted ones. That's what it is.
Force of Will.
I'm surprised that
Oh, I know Force of Will. It's a card
Force of
game.
Will is like a.
like Japanese Magic.
if you basically took Magic and then said, I don't like this, it's hard, and then made a Japanesey version of it, that's Force of Will.
Yep.
Like, Force of Will is a card from
Do you like really short skirts on young girls? Sorry, that's maybe unfair to
What?
some of our.
Are you setting me up for something?
Maybe.
Maybe. It's let's just say this. It's super anime.
Yeah, and it's
It
basically.
has a lot of the anime kind
a lot of the stuff it is like
cliches.
kind of ripped off from Magic, a lot of it. And I'm sure there's like some nerd out there that's like, it's not, but no, it is.
Someone out there who's like, you sons of bitches.
Right, I don't care.
It's
ripped
such an
off-
original game.
No, it's not. It's ripped off from Magic, but it's basically like because like all those really good Magic cards are too expensive.
Do you-
My mom's not made of money, so they're like, screw this. I'll make my own game with anime and short skirt schoolgirls. Yeah,
Got it.
That's for
Do you remember the Pony game?
the My Little Pony card
Yeah.
game. Yeah, we literally still have cards for it.
Do we?
I'll make you a hell of a deal on them, guys, if you need any My Little Pony booster packs. That's not the weirdest game. I can tell you all about weird
When I was
fucking card
in
games.
when I was in Laramie, it actually took off and was big for a while.
That
and
blows
it,
my mind.
It brought out all, and they were all guys. They were all
Yeah,
like
it brings out all
college
the-
age or high school guys.
Brings it all the,
There was not a
kinda
single girl playing in our My Little Pony at a store in Laramie.
Shocking. You mean there aren't any young ladies who the cartoon is directed at playing in it? It's just a bunch of like fucking middle-aged and college-aged dudes?
Yes.
That's weird.
It was nothing but bronies. And I, being me, tormented them relentlessly
Yeah,
when they
shocks
played
me.
about their manhood. And to which they're like, it's really good, and you have friends with parties, and it teaches you all kinds of good morals. I'm like, so does Star Trek, but it's not Little Ponies.
Right.
I was like, you guys are literally putting tons of hours into a game meant for little girls. I'm like, sure. Do I like things that little kids like too? Yes. But do I pretend that
I
it's
still build
this...
Legos.
Yeah, do I pretend that it's this super serious thing that's teaching me all these life lessons and I'm super hardcore about it?
Yeah,
don't.
I kind of like that's kind of where it breaks down for me too. It's
Yeah.
like it's teaching me good life values. It's like you're 18, dude. Like if you haven't learned your good life values yet, sorry, bro, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like if you're you know, family and peer groups and you know, mentors throughout the 18 years of your life thus far haven't really taught you what good morals are. Like if you don't know not to be shitty to other people by the time you're 18, you're just going to be a shitty person the whole rest of your life.
I'll see you in my other job.
Yeah, right.
So, Kyle, what is the strangest game?
Okay, so
Give us a story. Story time with Kyle.
Yeah, I've got that story.
Sure.
So there is a company, and this is boy, this one.
I know of this, so I hope you all are sitting down, future
This
people.
is new to me, so
Okay, so every year I see these guys at Gama Trade Show, and I always video record them because it's always fantastic. Their presentation's always great. They're called Bushi Road.
Bushi Road.
Bushi Road. It is a Japanese company that speak a very little English. But they make a bunch of card games for essentially anime fans. The names of which are things like Vanguard Card Fight, Buddy Fight.
No, that was on the list.
I'm sure Vanguard Card Fight is on the list because there's lots of pervy dudes out there. I'll get into it.
Okay.
Okay. There's like Hunter X, Weiss Schwartz, like all these like super anime kind of names, and it's just super shameless anime, like chicks in short skirts, like this sentient thong makes my schoolgirl more powerful, like super weird shit. Super weird. It's just bizarre beyond bizarre. And they always like have like, this is Matsumoto sensei, he will now direct you to the next year's release program for Weiss Schwartz Buddy Card Fight Vanguard Buddy. And like the guy comes up, he's like, you like just like you just like basically speaking at us in Japanese, and then he gets through the whole thing, and then like somebody else comes up and then tells you everything he said. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck did we just have the person who was basically going to say all this in English just say it in English the first time? Like, this feels like a lot of extra work for nothing, because there's
nobody here listening to it.
Yeah, right. Well, no, because here's how they get you. Gama Trade Show has a bunch of lunches that you're going to go to because you don't have time to basically go out and get lunch anywhere else because it's Vegas, right? And there's always presentations at lunch, so that's kind of the bonus, right? Like, you usually get some cool swag while you're at lunch. You get, like, some free things. That's neat. And you sit through whatever presentation. Well, Bushiroad's smart. They know no one is going to fucking come to their panel. It's just not happening. So they get you at lunch. You have to watch them. There's no getting away. Yeah, you're stuck. And there's like, it's a room. Imagine this, if you will, in your head movies. It is a room the size of a football field, and there's a stage in the middle where these guys are talking at you, and the room is just packed with basically 400 me's.
The king nerds.
Yeah, right, like 400.
There's like 3 female versions of Kyle.
Right, yeah, right. Like,
and then there's 397 guys.
Let's be fair, there's a lot of female Stormers. There's like 24 female versions of me. And there's some skinny versions of me, and there's some bigger versions of me, and there's some older versions and some younger versions, right? Like, it's a pretty eclectic mix, but, 90% of it's basically me.
Let's say they run out of 3X shirts in Gamma pretty quick.
Right. I'm 2X, thanks.
Sorry.
Just don't body shame me, CJ. So basically, out of this room of like 400 me's, most of us are like, oh god, no. But there's like 12 me's out there that things went real wrong in their life, and they're like super fucking pumped about this. They're like, oh my god, more anime girls. They're like, look at this sentient outfits. Literally, one of their games is a game where you have schoolgirls and you literally dress them up.
Is different maids, right? Like,
that's a different game. That's Tanto Kure. Tanto Kure is a game where it's kind of a card game where you actually have maids and you dress them up, and it's another anime game. Now, this one is like sentient schoolgirls fighting, right?
Okay.
So it's like schoolgirls fighting, and you power them up, and like you flip over their cards, and they get like more outfits or less outfits in some scenarios. Like,
wow.
Okay. And there are people out there that are like, oh my god, this is the best game ever. Like, man, if you guys ever see me playing with like anime cards, please put me out of my misery. Right? Like, just take me out behind the chemical shed and put a goddamn bullet in me, because things have gone badly.
Become a rabid animal.
Or I'm John Carpenter's The Thing. Like, the Thing has subsumed my body, and it just found the nearest weird shit around me and like started playing with it. Like, that's how you know I'm a pod person. Like, real Kyle is trapped somewhere in a spaceship or has been eaten by other monsters, which is a sad sort of poetic justice, I guess.
That would have an irony to it.
It would have an irony if I got eaten by another monster, sure. It'd make me disappointed for sure. Yeah, so Bushiroad, super bizarre. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate anime. Like, there are definitely some animes I love, like Gundam, basically.
Yeah, I like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, Outlaw Star. Like, there's some cool shit out there, right? But I'm not like super hardcore. Like I'm not, I guess, weeboo trash anime.
Yeah,
that's what I don't like.
Like the one where there's that game where you're the tentacle monster raiding the all-girl school. That's a real game.
I believe that it's a real game.
I found it, and it was at, I forget what store I was at, and my ex-wife handed it to me, and she's like, this looks strange. What is this talking about, CJ? And I look at it, and I was like, well, let me tell you. And you're like, at the back, you're like, you're a monster, and you have to get into this school and take all the girls hostage.
Yeah, you do.
Like, the only thing you have is your, 400 tentacles. I was like, oh.
God, that's so gross.
Gross.
What? Japan has some weird fetishes.
This is why you don't nuke a country twice.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Then they
you
sell
nuke a country
panties
twice, you
in
start getting
vending
panties and
machines.
vending machines and tentacle rape. Like, it gets real weird, man. Never nuke a country twice.
Oh my.
Just finish it off.
Hashtag never nuke them twice.
Do we have anything in nerd culture this week to talk about? I have one.
My mind...
Well, they moved Infinity War up. That's something. So it's in April
right.
now.
Yeah.
And we are doing a movie showing for that, so come see us. We have tickets.
This is kind of nerd culture.
Jessica Jones
It's
season 2.
definitely
also
sad that all our Toys R Us stores are closed.
I know, the world has now become officially a place I no longer want to live in.
a
I'm
darker
trying to get to
place.
Mars as quickly as possible. Like, no more Toys R Us, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Toys R Us kid. I literally can't not go there every time I go to Fort Collins. Like, that's a thing. So, no more Toys R Us. Like, suck it, world.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for that, Amazon.
Apparently, they've been in trouble for a long time.
They have, yeah. They've had some serious, like, issues
Amazon
for a
and
while.
Walmart certainly didn't help, but
No, they definitely didn't.
They couldn't afford to fix their buildings anymore, and there were
Right.
big debt problems. So sad to see
And
that
it's like
go.
you see, like, FAO Schwartz is one of the first
God,
big toy companies. I
loved
loved
FAO
them.
Schwartz.
Every time I go to Caesar's Palace and visit the Forum Mall, there's a giant gaping hole in my heart where my childhood
where the
was
Trojan
ripped
horse
away.
used to be.
Yes.
The FAO Schwartz in Chicago was 4 stories. God, it was
devastating.
magical. We used to go every time we'd go home to visit family. I used to go there because it was just like, it was all of the toys.
I'm very sad I never got to visit the one in New York.
Oh,
the
yeah,
original one. I would have loved to have.
Yeah, like the flagship FAO
Yeah.
Schwartz. Oh God, if you don't know what FAO Schwartz is, it's a kind of an old timey sort of Toys R Us.
They were a toy store from like the 1890s, and they were like the toy store for American kids growing up through 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Obviously, you had to be in kind of larger metropolitan areas to have one. Like they were,
But they used to
weren't
send
everywhere.
out a catalog.
They did, yeah. You
Yes.
could mail order their stuff. They didn't have
Like-
physical locations everywhere, but you could get them everywhere.
You know, they were in huge cities, but my parents would order stuff, and they'd come in these cool boxes with FAO Schwartz. It was like very magical as a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like we've lost something in toys.
We
now,
definitely.
right?
I think we've lost something almost even in society. Like everything's very much like it's the age of online everything,
It is.
right? Like, you know, at some point, like there's brick and mortar stores. Very realistically, might not be a thing 30 years down the road.
Yeah. It's, and I mean, you think about that, okay, if I live in Denver, that's not as big a deal, right? Because there's always going to be some people that will go to stores. And there'll be some stores catering to some people.
Sure.
But if you're in a town like Cheyenne or smaller, yeah, there's a very realistic future where you have like a grocery store and a Walmart.
Right.
And that's a very depressing
Which is
future.
sad because shopping, I mean, yeah, you know, you get the better prices online, but it's a very social thing to do.
It is.
I like to call it retail therapy. You come like
Yeah,
that's kind of the part of
exactly.
us, like in our third space scenario. That's kind of the part of us that we're basically like your cheers. You know, you come in
Mm-hmm.
and like you can bitch about your boss or like all the other weird shit happening in your life, and like we'll totally commiserate with you and be like, yeah, that fucking blows. Like,
Right.
You want to look at some miniatures, or you like want to
wanna play a board
here,
game?
let me go read this comic. You'll totally feel better. Like
Yeah.
like we're basically like your cheers / therapist on a lot of occasions. And that'll totally suck if that stops being a thing. Like, I feel like kind of everything being pushed towards internet makes, I think, everyone a little less connected, right? We're the most connected we've ever been in a sense of communication, but probably the least connected humans have ever been in the sense of like actual social interaction.
Right.
That's
With
a big
people.
deal. Yeah.
People, right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, and you see that emerging trend where you start seeing studies done about, you know, they're actually doing studies about what does extended Facebook use do to the brain of kids growing up. It changes
Right.
how they interact with other people.
I mean,
Things like that.
I feel like I use Facebook a lot because of work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I definitely have found myself like literally opening it before and like, why am I opening Facebook? I don't.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's got you trained. You know what I mean?
Like
I try
I'll
to
sit
stay
down
off
and
as
open
much
it.
as
I'm like,
possible.
why did I open this? Or I'll find myself scrolling through it and I'll waste like 20 minutes. I'm like, well, that was pointless. I
Right, exactly.
literally wasted 20 minutes.
Right. Like, oh, I watched this one video and then I actually ended up watching like 12 videos because it just kept playing videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like the thing. I try to avoid being on Facebook if I'm not doing it for work at this
Yeah.
point because, man,
It's a time
rough.
killer.
Yeah, it really is. just leads more to that disconnected kind of thing.
So you didn't know you'd have advanced sociological discussions on oracles.
Sometimes we just get randomly deep.
Yeah, we are deep.
Yeah, some of us are deeper than others.
Cal's
Super
very deep. I've
Yeah.
seen him be very deep.
Weirdly deep.
Yeah. Like things disappear
Do
sometimes.
you guys want to take a short break and then come back
Short
and do
commercial break?
our last road to Adepticon?
We got our
Oh my
last word,
god,
too.
last road to
Oh,
Adepticon.
last word too.
So
do have
I'll
last
go ahead and go, because I've got my last word.
Oh,
Or do you have yours?
I don't, but
Well, you can think for a
I can
second.
think for a second. Yeah.
My last word is it's time to set the record straight on this time business, folks, because everyone keeps mentioning it to me. And
He's been waiting for this for a week.
yes.
That's why you. All right, go ahead.
So here's the thing. Everyone keeps giving me shit about how I look at time, and I'm here to tell you, I'm correct, you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's because you have a very linear, basic understanding of time, and I have a very advanced understanding of
CJ
time.
might be a Time Lord.
I am a Time Lord. And it's understandable that this confuses you, but just listen to me and I'll lead you correctly. So,
All he's asking for is your blind faith and to follow him
Yep.
unquestioningly.
yes, all future listeners listening to this, remember past CJ's words of wisdom. I understand time. I'm sorry you don't. That was my last word.
Okay, I got one. All right, so Jessica Jones 2 came out this week.
Have you watched that yet?
I haven't, and here's why. I hadn't watched Luke Cage. I haven't watched that one. I also watched half of the Iron Fist.
That's about as much as anyone got through.
Okay, so I'm not alone
Iron
there.
Fist was not great.
And so before I was going to watch Jessica Jones 2, which I did watch the first season of hers, and I really enjoyed it. I started watching The Defenders because I
That's
watched
worth
that.
doing, yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
The Defenders?
Yeah.
I actually thought it was fun.
I cannot get past Iron Fist. He annoys the shit out of me.
Danny Rand is not your favorite character. Huh?
No. I mean, I don't like the actor. The dialogue is shit. I've never been this passionate about like superhero shit.
yeah.
And I just can't do it. So
Interesting.
that's my last word.
Just shitting on old Danny Rand.
Yep, didn't like him. I don't like the superheroes even weak. Like, oh, I have my inner chi and I went and killed a dragon and now
Well, you're just not
I have to
open to,
get really
Eastern ways of
mad.
thinking, apparently.
Huh?
You're just not open to Eastern ways of thinking. Maybe you need to find your chi. Center yourself.
Maybe it's an
For what it's worth,
octopus.
For what it's worth, the only listener whose feelings you could possibly be hurting right now are Curtis. I think Curtis likes Iron Fist. I know he likes the Iron Fist.
He knows that I don't like Iron Fist, so
know.
he should be okay.
That's all right. Also, did you see what Curtis? This is one of the things we definitely missed out. Curtis did respond to a bunch of our questions from like the last podcast about how weird, sex pervy English people might be. He said that's why he moved
Hi,
there.
Curtis. Is that why you're back?
He says that's why he moved there in the first place.
Curtis,
He's tied
buddy,
up
if
in a
you're
garage.
listening to this in the future, come back to Cheyenne and we'll get you on the show.
He's in Georgia right now, so
Yeah, he's
back in the
close.
States. Yeah, close-ish, right?
Closer than yeah.
I mean,
I
like
have
within
to-
2,000 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to imagine that it would be probably a little bit nicer weather in Georgia right now, though. So there's not a lot of drive to make anybody want to come to Cheyenne in the springtime.
No, this is when we get our shittiest snows.
Right. It really is.
All right, that's my last word. Defender sucks. Don't like it. Go ahead.
How do I follow all that negativity?
Sorry, man.
Oh my goodness. My last word. I don't really have one. I have spent the last few weeks basically like draining my soul prepping for Adepticon. So
That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
we should remind you, folks, we will not have an episode next week just
Yes,
because
we will
be
be
at Adepticon.
absent next week. So we were trying to record a couple episodes this week, but we just did not have the time to get two down this week. So we're just doing a little bit lengthier one here. But we will be absent next week, and then we will come back with a bunch of reviews and stuff like that when we're all fresh-faced. Wish us luck, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Like I don't
You
really
guys
have
are
a
gonna do
great
great.
last word. Yeah, I think we'll do okay.
Armies commanded by Kyle and I cannot be defeated.
I love your cognitive dissonance. It's so awesome. Oh,
Okay.
I'm so not that good.
With that, we'll be right back.
All right.
The Road to Adepticon, brought to you by Charleston Chew, Snacky S'mores, and War Bonds. Buy more War Bonds to keep our boys flying. Also brought to you by the M1 Grand. Stack 'em high, boys. Stack 'em high. Join us on our journey to discovery and army building for Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar.
And And we're back with the final Road to Adepticon.
What a road it's been.
What a road it's been. Most of it's just been basically like, yep, we're not done with anything yet, and we switched armies again. And boy, listeners, do we have news for you, because guess what we did?
Armies again.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because we hate life, I guess.
Yeah.
So we didn't switch an entire army. One of our 4 armies for the Adepticon team tournament changed. We dropped one of the Custodes armies we were playing, and brought in an army that was already done because it had a lot of conversions in it. We wanted to make sure that we had conversions, and it just happened to fit the theme of what we were doing already. So
it's a Primaris Space Marine army, and it's one I built about 6 months ago. It's themed off of kind of the like an Inquisition assassin type force.
Yeah.
I did conversions for the basic guys out of Reavers, but I did different head swaps with berets, so they're supposed to be kind of just regular augmented humans and advanced armor. Going for more for really deep here for our 40k nerds, the Lucifer Blacks, if you know who they are, which are kind of the elite regiment on Terra that protect the High Lords and do these kind of special ops. So, but it's got lights, it's got conversions, it should be fun.
yeah, so we basically, our display board is really close to being finished.
And it's spectacular.
And Ace has been working on it the whole time, and it looks so good.
It looks good, Ace.
It
Good
is.
job.
It is super badass.
Just amazing.
Normally, I'm not the kind of guy who's like, my shit looks so amazing, but like, I will totally throw this one out there. This one looks really badass.
It does.
Like, I have no shame in saying this is possibly the coolest display board I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's the coolest one I've ever been a part of. Is it the most visually stunning one I've ever seen? No, but I think it doesn't take away from the models. Like, it's just the right blend of like stunning and simple.
Yeah.
Like, it has all of the elements that I really like in it, which makes me happy.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.
Let's see. Our Grey Knights are pretty much done.
Yeah, the Grey Knights are basically
We
done.
still have to paint Valdus.
Yeah, we got to do Grandmaster Valdus. We did switch out for. We were going to take Drago,
But we only had a Sad Drago.
We only had a Sad Drago with no banner and a helmet on, and we didn't want to. We basically didn't want to make that sacrifice. We wanted his banner. We wanted the helmetless head. So we switched up to Valdus. He's kind of filling the same role. He's a little less beat stick, but I'm not that worried about it. He's a little better at casting, so I think it makes up for it. He still has a Thunderhammer, so he's still pretty.
Considering he's usually going to be playing with either Trajan Valorius or Gilliman and Celestine, he should be.
I think
the weakest matchup will be with me, where he doesn't have a big beat stick character with him.
He will be the beat stick there. Yeah. But we won't be matching those lists up as often. I don't think so. That's probably fine.
So they're basically done. What else do we have basically done? Your list is
my
close
list
to done?
is really, really close. I'm basically finishing up Celestine and Gilliman. That's about what I have left to do. And I have the Inquisitor, but that guy will be pretty quick because he's basically a coat and some pants. Like he's pretty straightforward to get painted. So yeah, basically knock out Celestine and Gilliman, and they're really well into being done at this point. Like Gilliman is like 75%. Celestine's like, at least 50 or 60% done. So that won't take us long.
Nope. Our Adeptus Custodes army, we changed it.
We changed the entire list.
Yeah.
We played a few games with the Custodes, and they were all pretty
good,
fun.
but
like,
they're
the
really
Custodes,
small.
Yeah, the Custodes are a great army. Like, they hit like a freight train. But that is also the catch, right? Like, they are a smaller list because they're so expensive. So the problems I think we've run into with them are board coverage. Like, board presence is really tough for them because they can't be everywhere at once.
And if you have a bad turn, if they take out a squad, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you're really on the back foot at that point. So they are very resilient, but when you do lose troops, it hurts a lot more. The kind of other thing that we found out was that you really have to focus them. They seem to work best when you take them and like focus them on an enemy and just use them as the hammer that just smashes things, right? So kind of with that in mind, we swapped up our list a little bit more. We kept we took the 2 Custodes lists we had and kind of like mashed them together into a workable list that we liked. So basically we have Captain, General, Aladdin, a Contemptor Dreadnought, and then just as many
10 Custodians.
10 Custodians. Yeah, just 10 generic Custodians. Like the Alaris were cool, the bikes were cool. They're just really, really expensive and hard to get into the list. I think they would be great at 2,000 points or like 1,850 or something. At 1,000, like they're good, but man, they're really hard to use because you don't have that much coverage of the board.
In the Age of Sigmar world, We changed up all our stuff there too.
Not since the last time we talked.
Did we tell our?
Yeah, we've been on Two Gods, One Cup for a while. Yeah, we talked about that an episode.
It's all blurring.
Yeah, I know, right? So basically we finished up Marathi. If you are building and painting a Marathi, holy shit. She's a beautiful model, but there are definitely some parts
to build.
that were tough. Like her assembling her wings, dry fit her wings before you prime her and like glue the wings together because they're her back as well. Don't glue them on her necessarily if you're gonna like airbrush them or something, but definitely don't wait until you've painted her and then glue them on because it is 3,000 times as hard.
Also, getting her on the column when she's glued together as the snake person.
Yeah.
Which I think you have to do for a good paint job, but it's a bear. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough.
Getting her on the column is super tough. It's easier if you leave her like robe flaps, like her butt flaps off.
God, she's got a big ass.
She does have a big butt.
She's got a massive ass.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's definitely, it's been a ride. Like the Melusai, I was literally putting the finishing touches on the Blood Sisters last night, just doing gem work and stuff like that. So
we've got a buddy fun. Dawn who's finishing up some stuff for us.
Yep.
For them.
I also did want to take a couple minutes to shout out everybody who's been helping us out. With this project.
Could do it with all the people helping.
Yeah, so
really,
Donald Anderson, G, Alex Oakes.
Yep.
I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody else, and if I forget you, I'm really sorry. Ed. Yep, Ed.
Ed has been helping.
Again,
Nick Cadman.
Nick Cadman. If I forget you, it's not because you weren't instrumental. It's just because my head is like literally swimming in all the crap that we still have left to like get packed and things like that. We got a pack display.
We've got a lot of little things left to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the big stuff is all basically
basing
done.
and flocking and putting stuff together.
The finishing touches are still what we're going to be doing for the next couple days, and by the time you're hearing this, we'll already be in Chicago, likely. Yeah. So. Definitely, we should be in there.
We will be. If we're not, something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, if we're not in Chicago by the time you're hearing this, we're dead.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
Somewhere along the I-80 corridor, Kyle is like dead in a ditch, and there's just strewn models everywhere.
Oh, God. Yeah, for like a quarter mile. Yeah. It's like pieces of plastic. Yeah.
There's a very sad, shattered Imperial Wall. Like broken dreams.
Oh, man. Speaking of Imperial Wall, I saw a post the other day, like, Games Workshop has been doing like polls and stuff where you can vote, and there's a poll they put up the other day, which was who was the best siege master, like who was the best at besieging fortresses, that is basically breaking them open, and the vote was between Dorn and Perturabo, and Dorn was winning. I was like,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. Are you shitting me? Like, hey, how many times did Dorn breach the Imperial Palace? Oh, what's that? Never? Weird. How many times did Perturabo do it? Oh, what's that? All of the times?
Yep.
The only guy to ever breach it? 100% success rate? I'd say he's the best at besieging fortresses.
Weird. I'm taking a train, so my disaster would be like I'm murdered, like Murder on the Orient Express, and I really hope there's a French detective that will try and solve my death.
Or the train just derails. Because there's been like 2 derailments in the past like 6 months.
I know, that would be really bad.
Why did you opt for the train?
I love traveling by train.
Because CJ's whimsical as fuck.
That's cool. I like it.
I am whimsical.
We took the train there last year, too.
Yeah, but I understand a group of you, but I just wanted to know why CJ decided on his own.
I decided on it because it's so much more relaxing for me. The drive stresses me out. Yeah. I can't tell you how much I hate driving across Nebraska and Iowa. It's just the worst. I fucking hate it. Sorry, I dropped an F-bomb there. That's how much I hate it.
We've definitely dropped our soft R here. I've dropped like 3 or 4.
GM Drew's first F-bomb.
Is that your first F-bomb?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I missed it. I wasn't
Sweet
that
summer child.
But I hate the drive with a burning passion.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. And usually I'm exhausted because I've been painting for 24 hours before that. And then on the way back, I'm exhausted because I've been playing for 24 hours before that. Versus the train is just, it's the way civilized gentlemen travel. Like you hop on.
At least in the 1860s.
I have, there's a dining car white linen where I can sit down and have food. I can walk around. This time I'm traveling. I've got a private room with a bed. It's going to be marvelous.
That's awesome.
As long as I don't get murdered.
It's certainly interesting, as long as he doesn't get murdered. Yeah.
So.
There's that.
I mean, frankly, if I'm going to be murdered, it's probably going to be in Chicago getting my rental car.
It's almost, like, it's literally the most, so it's my hometown, and I love it, but I'm also not ignorant to the fact that it is the most dangerous city in America, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing it has over Detroit is the police actually still respond in Chicago. Like, the response time is not an hour.
There were more people killed in Chicago over shootings like last year than there were troops killed in foreign wars.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Let
insane.
that sink in for a second.
I mean, it's the only place more dangerous.
Can't wait to be home! Yay!
The only place more dangerous we could go is if there was, like, SyriaCon.
SyriaCon?
Yeah.
This is AleppoCon. Yay!
They're really trying to kick the economy back off again.
Yeah. All of the trainer ruins, too, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, only played on ruins.
It's only played on authentic ruins. Like, basically, your table, they're just setting hunks of rubble on it, like real bricks.
Authentic Syrian rubble. Yeah.
I think you guys are going to have a blast.
I think we will too.
Can't wait
it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun road to a deck. I'm really sad that we won't get to hashtag stack 'em high as much. I have to figure out a way to keep that going. That's fun.
We'll do something.
Right. Like, let us know in the comments below.
Do like a very country commercial for going to Omaha, like packing the kids up in the wagon,
like an Okies commercial.
An Okies commercial.
Out Omaha way.
Out Omaha way.
Yeah, I hear they have internet. Right. I hear there's still tournaments out Omaha way. Might be able to find yourself some opponents to play out that way. A lot of history out there in Omaha.
Yeah, a lot of history in Omaha.
Yeah, that's right. But it's the Road to Adepticon's been fun. It's been like literally a segment I look forward to every week. So let us know in the comments down below what you guys want to see replace the Road to Adepticon. Like, is there something you want us to do?
Donkey Trail to ChupacabraCon.
The Donkey Trail to ChupacabraCon. Like, do you want us to do a Road to Bug Eater? Do you want us to do Road to any of these other cons?
I mean, I hate to get too obscure on trains here, but Omaha is the head of the Union Pacific Railroad, so it could be the rails to Adepticon.
The rails to Adepticon?
Yeah.
You mean the rails to Bug Eater?
Omaha Bug Eater. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck, I messed it up. Damn it, did it again. Shit.
The rails to Bug Eater. Boy, that just does not have the same ring to it.
There's a cheesecake factory.
Whoopee!
And
a cheesecake factory.
What else was there to do there? They do legitimately have the best zoo in the world.
Omaha does, yeah, and it's not a bad city. Like, it's a nice city.
It's a nice city, but it's the city that America forgot. Like, when you think of cities in America, no one's ever like Omaha,
right? Yeah.
Like, you think Chicago, San Francisco. If someone's
York,
like, give me obscure
Boston.
cities, you're like, Little Rock,
Chattanooga,
Memphis,
Oklahoma City, like
San Antonio.
Right.
No one ever says Omaha.
Portland.
Yeah.
Like, no one's like, Omaha. Yay. No.
It's like a tertiary grade city in the Imperium.
Yeah. Tithe grade tertius. It's just not that. Yeah. Not that I don't like Omaha.
I actually do like Omaha, but it's just...
We're getting the wrap it up signal from GM Drew. Shit.
But I was just...
We're rambling.
I was going to open my Frommer's Guide and go through what to do in Omaha when you visit.
Okay, well, it won't take that long.
All right.
So go ahead.
Well, when you're hearing this, we'll all be in Chicago. We'll all be basically prepping our tournaments, respectively, start like the next day. Some of us have games Thursday. Some of us don't.
I'm playing the Gentleman's on Thursday with the Thousand Suns.
The big stuff starts on Friday with the AOS doubles, and then Saturday, Sunday is our 40K team tournament. So wish us luck. Keep your eyes on the Facebook groups, because if we do get onto Warhammer TV, I'll definitely try and post a notification.
Yeah.
And
don't forget to stack 'em high, boys.
Yeah, don't forget to stack 'em high, boys. Stack 'em high.